I'm back at it again. Though I said after the failure of yesterday to find gold, I will keep a little break, but it didn't let me rest in peace. I just wanted to come back with the ability to build a large ore detector. Maybe that would find gold. Right now I'm heading for this decload drone facility, which I do hope is still here. Yesterday I found this in the asteroid belt, but I no longer had the tools to salvage it, so I wanted to take at least the gravity generator from it, because I do need the gravity components. And we will see what else. Maybe there are some other loot in it. If it's not here, I'm just heading to the place I visited yesterday, which is in the nearby planet, which marked as gold, question mark. Well, the detector detected gold, but I didn't detect it. And now I built a large ore detector with a solar panel there, just to see if that increased range will be able to detect any ores. Yeah, let me cut back when something interesting happens. Alright, so after a while I went to look around the area where I was pretty sure that there's gold. I didn't know it at that time that the gold is much deeper than my conventional detectors can detect. But I knew I will need some materials to to build something there, like a gold mine on this planet. And luckily for me, there was an NPC base there, so I decided to assault it. Apologize in advance, I had an issue with the shooting sound. It's probably some disturbance from one of the mods. I included this footage regardless of how poopy it is, because I rarely do combat in these series, due to the fact that at this stage of the server, NPCs were very rare, and I only saw these few NPC bases, which were good for, you know, getting resources, uranium, and do some combat. But as you probably noticed in previous sections of the Salvage ops, I was mostly just salvaging these NPC bases and nothing that I could fight out in space. There are occasional ships here and there, but the server admin at this point were not 100% finalized on what possible NPC encounters you can have on the server, so they were very rare. So yeah, I was assaulting it, and the Midnight Mark 1 was fairly good, more or less. Not the best, but you know, it was shooting. To be honest, I'm not too good in combat, so I just landed my ship here and or nearby at least. I went for a few more rounds, but eventually set down my ship and I went to salvage this base as normal. I looted it and then I eventually moved it closer to the mine and dismantled it for parts. I don't think I have that small gold mine film, so let's just jump a bit further in the timeline to see something else I did. Oh yes, one thing I wanted to add here before we move on is that there's a story behind me going back home. Eventually, after I dismantled this base and filled my ship's storage with all kinds of loot, I was attempted to go back home. But the weight of the ship was too much to descend, and unfortunately I don't have that on camera either, but I fell out of the sky right into the ocean. I thought it would be a soft landing since it is water, but that's not how it happened. Unfortunately, the Midnight Mark 1 was vaporized upon impact with the water, and I was had to jog back to my base on foot while I discovered that it is being attacked. I mean, my neighbor's base was attacked, but I was rushing to defend it regardless. And it was attacked by none other than Reavers. Oh. Alright folks, I think shit hit the fan. We managed to reset the Reavers, now they appearing, but I think the default setting is that they appear everywhere, including the starter planet. And everybody was pretty confident that their starter planet is safe and they can develop their things here. It seems after resetting the Reavers, they had some other ideas about that. Currently there are two raiders are attacking Tetritech's base, and I don't even have a decent bottle of hydrogen to fly up there. Now come on, one bottle. Doesn't matter which one, give me a freaking bottle. Yes. I have, right, I think I have this one. Hold on. Actor of rats. Technically I have a fighter here. I should be able to, I just it doesn't. At least they don't attack the base. They will not give up, I think. Sorry for the bad audio in this section. It was not intentional, more like I was not able to calibrate it in the heat of the battle. Luckily for everyone involved, the server admin got the message that Reavers are attacking the first planet. And then he came online, reset the server and removed the Reavers. And that's how this adventure ended. And of course I lost my fighter ship because it was in the air while the server was resetting and nothing was controlling it, and by the time I came back it was nowhere to be found. But that was just the first of problems, first of many to come. After that I lost quite many ships. Alright folks, so what you see here is me talking over a previous footage. I tried to salvage the disaster. Unfortunately, Midnight Mark 1, my original interstellar ship, was not salvageable. And when I went to get the parts for it with the big Quetzal ship, that also had an engine failure and had an accident near sea. And yeah, what you see here is I went after the remains of it with my one of my last remaining ships, and it was a pain to salvage. It was too heavy, my atmospheric ship was a bit too weak, nothing at all went as it should on that day. I'm now approaching my base here with a large chunk of my previously pride and joy of ship, and it didn't really work out as I expected it to. You will see me trying to drop this into the salvage yard, the grinder pit, and it tips over. The whole thing is just falling out of it and out of my base head first into the ground. So that was the point when I actually lost my only remaining ship in the game. I had the half wreck of something new that I was building there that is called Midnight Mark II. But it was quite a horrible accident. At this point, after this atmospheric ship was falling out of the base with the cargo head first, I didn't really have anything to fly. So, it was a painful few hours while I was salvaging everything and gathering the parts of everything, and that's when I started working towards actually building Midnight Part 2, Mark II, which was a small grid large ship upgraded for modern challenges, built from the inside out with contingencies and additional thrusters to keep it up. So yeah, it was a horrible day. Let me not even waste more time for it and just go forward to the point when I have Midnight Mark II in a working condition, and we can go from there. Hello. Folks, I spent the day grudgingly working on the visitor center and the observation tower, so I just wanted to give you a small update. But unfortunately the sun came up, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, nothing is visible on this with this improved rendering while the sun is up. I can show you at least this part, and I will probably need to cut in some screenshots from the night when it is actually looking good. I added a panel here with a screenshot of the old station on the ice crack, talking about how the station came to life and airlifted into this planet. Adding some useful information about the server Discord, sharing a trick about how to get infinite power from the sea. I also built here a fancy cafeteria where people can just sit and eat their food It even had a sci-fi menu which is generated by Midjourney. By the way, all the pictures that you see here, except my logo, are generated by Midjourney. It recently released version 4 and is fairly good at making you pictures that are not copyrighted. I just gave him a prompt of sci-fi cafeteria menu and it was giving me like very good results immediately. It doesn't really matter the details and what's on it is gibberish, but it was specifically from this distance. If you don't really look at the title, it does look like a cafeteria menu, and I absolutely like that. You cannot read it anyway because of the crappy way Space Engineers is displaying pictures on LCDs. But here we are, small cafeteria. I also made this one here about how to fix your ship, who to contact in case there's an issue, some advertisements for my own stores, showing a golden ship, which is not really visible. I've added my Reaver interlooper blueprint here just as a way to show that there are Reavers on this station, or at least they're supposed to be. Not on this planet, but sorry, in the server. But yeah, right now it's not fixed, but regardless, I might just build this Reaver ship out of, pure curiosity. I also added this panel here for the elevator and mixed up a little bit so the top section remains on top, because last time I accidentally attached it to the elevator itself, so the ramp, what the heck is it called, the railing was attached to the lift, not to the platform, so that looked a bit silly. I also added here some general info about visiting other player and buying stuff from their stores, and the FSD and how they get to the other planets. I also added some items to my store, so if they have money they can now buy artillery shells, tier 3 tools, gold and uranium. These are the only things that I actually think that anybody will need, because everything else is available otherwise. I also built an elevator here with a little dressing room and toilet. And this is a 2-block long elevator that you can ride all the way up to the observatory. I also reinforced it with some steel beams. It looks a bit strange. You can call it with this button and you can start it with this button, and it will move you up all the way to the top. You can take a look at the landing pad, the workshop, and the office building, and nice chrome pistons will pull you up right where you need to be. I know there's a hazard here, but try not to step out. I welded up all the glass by hand. I might need to adjust a little bit on the coloring, because half of them is this dark bluish color, the other half is a bit grayish chromish color. I have not filled out all the LCDs yet, and if you see it, you see that it looks absolutely shitty in daylight, but if I am lucky the sun will eventually go down, well, not now, but within like an hour or so. And then these LCDs will look actually pretty good. I might just drop in a few screenshots here to show you, because I'm not sure if you'll be able to speak for the next hour until that goes down. So yeah, I still have room to add more things here. It has multiple connection points where I can pull materials from. And even though it looks like it's stylish, I've not actually welded up the top of it. Oh yeah, by the way, these cool sci-fi screens, this one came with the game, and the top ones came with Mid-Journey, but you know, it's stark difference only because of the rendering improved mode. I'm pretty happy with how this looks. It looks like a glass ball on top of the other buildings. So the mighty nice crack station is improving. I still need to do something with the top of this. I'm not yet sure what. I'm thinking about maybe adding a top here that I can just open up this way, like a bug wing or something like that. I don't know yet. I will figure something out. I don't mind that it's open because I am flying in and out with my ship, which I have not finished, by the way. I worked a bit on the armor. It looks a bit bulky, but I guess it is what it is. I might need just add a little bit more solar panels to look like it has a larger wing. I'm not particularly sure how to solve that yet, but I figured something out. I'm still manually adding armors and coverings and everything. Only thing left to do is fix these holes on it on the side and add more armor at the bottom of it, because right now I don't really have any armoring on the bottom. At least I need to cover the large containers, some of the turrets, I mean not turrets, the thrusters. This section I will need to cover. So yeah, I think it will need like another day or so to fully realize this ship. I think it has enough thrust, I think it has enough gyros, and I also think it has enough guns. All I need to do is just finish the armoring and it will be ready to fly. So that was my short update on the nice crack station. Actually, it looks pretty cool if you look down here. You see that I also used those tarp blocks above the cafeteria, so they almost look like an outdoor establishment. I think I've made a lot of improvements today. And I know your first reaction might be that why do I put full gas tanks under my observatory, but I do not expect hostile shooty on this planet. That's what the admin told me. So if something would shoot that out and the whole thing would go to hell, then I will probably need to convince the admin to reset it, because I built this in the spirit that it will not ever be attacked. I do have guns on it, but they are switched off. We will see. Maybe there will be a day when I will use those guns for something, but for now they are just decoration. I really like that large vault of glass ship that I was coming here with. And I looked up and I saw these majestic tanks, and I imagined this building roughly when I decided that I will keep those tanks up high. I really wanted to have this look, this fancy large control tower with guns. So when the guests will come in, I might need to do some extension to this car parking area here. I wanted to have something like these lights, but only halfway through and above the cars. So for that I will need to dig a bit more ground out. I need to extend these platforms a little bit and make sure that I can actually walk in this space. Anyway, That will be a lot of work. And I don't... Yeah, the sun is halfway in the sky, so I won't really be able to show you the night splendor in real time of the glass ball on top of it. But yeah, this is the update. This is the nice crack station as it looks today. And I hope you like it. Alright folks, Midnight Mark II is not fully ready yet, but I opted to do a little visit to Tetritech station in the gold and uranium and platinum planet. I have it on my radar right behind me, and my ship should be capable of traveling there and, well, doing a little landing, hopefully. So let me cut back to you when I'm close by. Alright folks, I'm approaching the station. We originally wanted to come here because the survivor kits and medical base stopped functioning, and we were not sure if it was attacked or something, but Tetritech actually came here faster than me and he reported that there isn't anything major on it in terms of, damage, so it was not attacked. So we couldn't really figure out yet why the power was cut to the survivor kits. That's alright. No problem. We don't need to generate. I just need to land safely. Hopefully I should be able to do with my increased number of thrusters. But I might need to move a bit more gently. Because remember, this is a planet with 1.2 G, 1.12 G at the surface, I guess. So I need to be careful not to overdo the landing. Alright, we passed 1G and I'm still holding up. This is roughly expected. The 8 downwards facing large hydrogen thrusters should be more than enough to hold me up, even in larger gravity than what this planet has. Still, I'd like to be a bit cautious, given that I'm having a bad history with falling out of sky. But yeah, I'm pretty close. You can actually see his station down there. So that's where we are headed. Yeah, he said we should not hit anything, so I try to hit and miss. I'm not sure if you noticed that. But yeah, 2 kilometers out, 1.5, 1.3 kilometers up, slowly descending, 1.12. As far as I know, this is the maximum gravity here, so If I'm holding up here, I should be perfectly fine landing. Never any doubt. $800 meters. Like a fly. He's around me. Alright, I'm feeling pretty confident that it will not go any higher. And I am holding up, so let me get a bit closer to his hole in the ground. I do hope his turrets will not shut me down, because then I will unleash railgun on his station. Oh no, just noticed I have 56% of hydrogen. Alright. Alright, let's see that base. Every large tower is supposed to have a red light. He can be at the disco place here. I think this is his greenhouse, which he inexplicably painted blue. But that's alright. I see he built a large antenna. And he has his mining ship here. Oh, this is a green connector. Let me take a look at my... I'm good with hydrogen. Let's take a look at his installation. Yeah, it seems to be... Is this ice? Yeah, it's ice. Yeah, he's building these beams out so he can reach the gold. Can't really tell how far it is because I don't actually have a mining drill at me. But yeah. His big hole in the ground. How far is the gold? Ah, that's not much at all. A bit wobbly. while I'm climbing out of this pit that Tritech made, I also would like to say my goodbyes for this episode, but before I go, I wanted to give you some info on further iterations of Salvage Ops. And it's not good news at all. Unfortunately, not long after I recorded this video, I had to step away from Space Engineers for a few days, like 3 or 4, I don't know. And when I came back, I found out that my base that I was building up until that point was completely deleted from the server. Obviously, that made me a tiny bit disappointed. And even though the server admin was kind enough to replace, or more like paste my original base into the game, I think I've not actually managed to get back into the mood of playing Space Engineers for a while. So for a short while, this will be the last episode of Salvage Ops. There's a chance that I will come back, or I will do something similar in the future. I know this was not really coming out with a bang, but this was kind of going out because there was an issue beyond my control. This is actually why I don't really like playing on other people's server, because, you know, if it would have been my server, I would have regular backups and I would be able to restore all my base and everything I had on it. But, you know, since this is not my server, all I could do is, you know, I guess not play it for a while. But, you know, it's Space Engineers. I will come back to it one form or another. If nothing else before that, when they will release the new Grid AI update, I will definitely come back. And that is expected within like a month or 2, I hope. I actually expected it late last year, but you know, whenever it comes, I will either come back to this server if I can, because it was actually not that bad of a setup after many iterations and additions. Although last time I was trying to log back in, I was not able to, because one of the mods made my laptop crash all the time. So if that happens, I will probably create my own server, and in that case I will give you the details of it as well, so you can join me there. So whatever life brings, I am happy that you joined me on this journey, exploring the Space Citizen server and salvaging and building, doing all that sort of things. And I hope to see you in the next adventure as well. If you like this, give it a thumbs up and subscribe as well, and leave a comment what you think of this, and perhaps a suggestion of, you know, what you would like to see in the next Space Engineer adventure. So, you know, I will know and I can adjust my videos accordingly. Alrighty then. Have a fantastic day everyone, and see you in the next adventure. Bye bye.